Hey everyone, Alex here from Duo Pilates, and today I'm going to take you through a back and a hip stretch class. This class is great for those of you who might suffer from daily aches and pains through your back. You might have really tight hips or something more serious. So in that case, I want you to be really careful with these stretches. So if you do have a back issue, I want you to just be mindful of how each stretch feels. If anything feels very uncomfortable, painful, then I want you to stop and just come into a resting stretch. So I'm going to show you our resting stretch so that at any point in the class you can just come into this stretch, just take a few deep breaths and then rejoin us when we move on to the next stretch. So this should be nice and relaxing for you. You can search for the Duo Pilates stretch class on Spotify. That way it's just really nice chill tunes without too many words in it. So to help you stay nice and relaxed. Okay, so I'm going to show you this resting stretch. You're going to come down to your mat, your feet are together, your knees are turned out, nice and wide like that. And I just want you to walk your hands forward. Sit, stretching them out nice and long. This is our resting stretch. You can come into this position at any point through the class if anything feels uncomfortable for you. That's it. But for now, I'll just get everyone to take a big deep breath in, fill up your lungs with air, and then take a big deep breath out and just sink down into the ground. That's it. And again, take a nice deep breath in, big deep breath out. One more time, big deep breath in, big deep breath out. Just try and sink your bum back down onto your feet. Relax your chest down to the ground. Rest your head on the ground. And then I'm going to get you to slowly walk both hands over to your left side. But I want you to reach your right arm over your left arm and just stretch it out nice and long. You should feel a nice stretch down through your right side. Try and walk your hands over to the left a little bit more if you can. Take a big deep breath in, feel that stretch, go a little bit deeper through your side, and then take a slow deep breath out. And then slowly walk your hands to the center and then over to the other side. Sit, crossing your left arm over your right arm. Take a deep breath in. Big deep breath out. And then coming back to the center, holding here for one more breath. Breathing in through your nose. Big deep breath out through your mouth. Nice, all right, now we're now going to come into a 4-point kneeling position. Now if you need to, you can always roll up your mat to have a little bit more padding underneath your wrists. Otherwise, I just want you to have your knees underneath your hips, your wrists underneath your shoulders, spreading out your fingers. So just relax your feet. And I want you to tuck your tailbone under, like a sad puppy dog. And then one by one, I want you to roll your spine all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. And as you do that, you're going to end up tucking your chin right in towards your chest, resting your head all the way down, pushing your back out, up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go the other way. We're going to start by tilting our pelvis back, poking your bum out, and then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, you're going to roll your spine all the way down, sinking your lower back down towards the ground, and you're going to turn your head up slightly. Just be careful with that if you've got any neck issues. You might find it uncomfortable, so you can just keep your head in a neutral position. We're going to go again. So we start the movement by tilting our pelvis, and then we articulate. We're moving one vertebrae at a time, and we're going to roll all the way up, tucking our chin right in towards our chest. Tilting our pelvis the other way, rolling our spine down. Now you might find one side a lot tighter than the other. Okay, so moving in this direction with your lower back sinking might feel a lot tighter. If that's the case, feel free to just roll back to neutral with a straight spine and then back down. Or you might find rolling all the way up feels much nicer. You can always just do that and then return back to a straight back. We're going to do one more to each side. That's it. Rolling up. Nice. And then returning back into that neutral position. That's it. From here, we're going to come into a downward dog stretch. So what I'm going to get you to do is tuck your toes under, and you're going to lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulders down your back. And I want you to lift your heels as high off the ground as you can. Sit, draw your shoulder blades right down your back. Open up that space around your neck. Lifting your tailbone up nice and high. And then I'll get you to walk out your calf muscles. So you're going to bend one knee, lower the other heel down. And then we're going to change. Keep alternating sides. And now we're going to lower both heels down together and then lift both heels up. Still thinking about opening up that space around our neck, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. We're going to do 3 more. Lift those heels up nice and high and lower. Lift and lower one more time. Lift and lower. Perfect. From here, I want you to now step your left foot forward into what we call a pigeon stretch, okay? So you're bending your left leg. See, you want to have your foot just kind of tucked in. You're welcome to bring it forward a little bit more, okay? That might feel quite uncomfortable for your knee, so you might just want to keep it tucked. But it's really important that you don't drop your hips off to the left side. I want you to pick them up, square them off to the ground. That's it. And just slowly lower your forearms down. So this should be okay for you, but if you do have a knee issue, okay, usually I find clients with knee problems find this really uncomfortable, okay? So I want you to just come back into that resting stretch, if that is the case. And you should feel this stretch through your glute and hamstring. And the longer you hold it, the more you'll find that the stretch will start to shift and move into different muscle groups. It's not the most comfortable stretch, but I do find a lot of our back pain clients get a lot of relief from this stretch alone. So stay with me here. I want you to take a few big deep breaths in through your nose, big breath out through your mouth. So it's really important that when we're stretching that we hold these stretches for a decent amount of time to really allow the stretch to take effect. So you'll notice that the longer you hold this, the more comfortable it will start to feel. You might start to feel the stretch moving into different muscle groups. Maybe you should be able to tolerate it a little bit more. Having some relaxing music playing in the background is also really helpful. Just helps you to get into a really relaxed state and just release your muscles. So let's take 3 more big deep breaths in and out. Soften your shoulders, relax your head. Breathing in and out. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Two more. Last one. And then take your time. We're going to slowly start to come out of this pigeon stretch. We're going to return into that downward dog stretch, lifting your heels up nice and high, relaxing your shoulders down your back. And then we're going to step the right foot forward. That's it. Making sure that your hips stay nice and square so we're not letting that right hip fall off to the ground. That's it. Lifting up, squaring it off, slowly lowering your forearms down. You're finding this uncomfortable, you can always place a pillow underneath your forearms, something to just prop you up a little bit. That's it. You might also find one side's a lot tighter than the other. I want you to take a deep breath in, big breath out, relaxing those shoulders down. Breathing in and out. You can go a little bit deeper into the stretch by extending your arms out if you wish. Or you can come out of the stretch a little bit if it's getting uncomfortable by extending your arms out. Nice, holding here, breathing in through your nose. Big deep breath out through your mouth. Let's do 2 more. One more breath. Perfect. All right, slowly coming out of that stretch. We're just going to transition with a little resting stretch just to give our muscles a little bit of a break. So walking your hands forward. That's it. All right, next we're going to come into a hip flexor stretch. So what I'll get you to do is come into a kneeling position. Now what I do prefer to do is roll up my mat a little bit so you've got some extra padding underneath your knees. That's it. Or you can grab a pillow and place it underneath your knee if you wish. Then you're going to step your right foot forward. Just make sure that your toes are facing the front. Square your hips off to the front as well. And then I want you to place one hand on your pubic bone and one hand on your tailbone. Now what I want you to do is tuck your tailbone under, bring your pubic bone forward, tuck your tailbone away like a sad puppy dog. That's it. And just hold there. You can probably already feel this stretch through the front of your hip as it straightens out. We're just going to hold here. I want you to ensure that your foot is past your knee at this stage or just underneath your knee. You don't want to end up with your knee over your foot. So from here, holding that tuck, I want you to just move forward a little bit, not very far. That's it, we're staying upright, shoulders back. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. I'm going to get you to tuck that tailbone a little bit more. Take a deep breath in, big deep breath out. And then as you relax, tuck a little bit more. Holding there. Lunging forward a little bit more, making sure that knee doesn't go past your big toe. Breathing in and out. Lunge forward a little bit more and hold. That's it. You can take your hands away now. Just place your right hand on your knee and you're going to lift your left arm up and over. It. Bringing that arm back, shuffle your foot forward a little bit, and we're going to place our hands down onto the ground, both on the inside of our foot. And then I want you to just relax your hip forward a little bit more. We're going to hold it here for 3 breaths. I want you to take a deep breath in, breathing out. 2 more. Last one. I want you to try and take pressure off your hands. See if you can just have your hands lightly touching the ground. From here, what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze your left glute as tight as you can. That's it. Hold it. And then I want you to relax that glute and relax into the stretch a little bit more. We're going to do 10 of these. So you're going to squeeze your left glute, release it, squeeze, release. 7, relax. 6, relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, relax. Tuck your toes under, and if you can, just hover your knee off the ground. Now, if that feels uncomfortable for you, that's fine. That's it. Holding there. And then relax that knee down. Perfect. Slowly coming out of the stretch, we're going to change to the other side. So stepping your left leg forward. That's it. Squaring your toes off to the front. That's it, making sure they're straight. One hand on your pubic bone, one hand on your tailbone. You're going to tuck your tailbone right under. Bring your pubic bone forward. Hold there. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, just lunge forward a little bit more, making sure that knee doesn't go past your big toe. Holding there. Take a deep breath in. Big breath out. Tuck under a little bit more and lunge. And again, breathe in. Big breath out. Relax those shoulders. Tuck a little bit more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tuck. Perfect. Holding there. One more. And then placing your left hand on your knee, lifting your right arm up and over your head. That's it. And then coming back, moving your foot off to the side. Place both hands on the inside of your foot. Again, try to take the pressure off your hands, okay? Make your quad on the left side do a little bit of the work as well. Holding here. That's it. Take a deep breath in, breathing out. Nice. Two more. Breathe in and out, just softening your shoulders. Last one. Perfect. Now we're going to squeeze that right glute and release. When you release, move into the stretch a little bit more. We're going to do 10. Squeeze, release. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Tucking that toe, your toes under, lifting that knee off the ground, straightening out your leg, holding here. That's it. Nice. Then placing that knee back down. Whew, that gets into the hip flexors. All right, we're going to straighten out our mat now. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is called a frog stretch. Again, you might need a little bit of padding under your knee, so I'm sorry if you have a knee injury. A lot of these stretches do require your knees to be on the mat quite firmly, so grab some pillows if you need to. This is called a frog stretch. It's the most flattering stretch you'll ever do in Pilates. So you're going to bring your knees out as wide as you can. I want you to turn your feet out as well, so your toes are turning out to the side. I want you to see if you can get your feet in line with your knees. Your forearms are on the ground and you're keeping your arms and shoulders, your upper body nice and relaxed. I don't want you putting all of your weight through your upper body. Now this is a really good stretch to open up the hips. So if you spend a lot of time sitting at a chair, a desk, maybe your home office desk is not as good as your office chair, or you might be sitting on the couch a lot more, okay? So either way, our hips are rolling inwards and we want to spend more time rolling our hips out. So this stretch is a really good one. But you do need to breathe through it. I know it's uncomfortable, so I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just try and relax into the stretch. Just work within your own range. Your legs don't have to be out too wide for this. Okay, you want to make sure that it just feels like a stretch. You shouldn't feel pain. You shouldn't feel any sharp shooting pains or anything that just feels extremely uncomfortable, okay? So you might only be able to hold this for a little bit, or you can stay with me. Feel free to come out of this whenever, but take your time. Take a deep breath in, breathing out. If you can always try and move your knees out a little bit further. That's it. Just try and relax your feet. All right, let's hang here for another 3 breaths, breathing in and out. All right, then making your way up slowly That's it. Don't move too quickly out of that one. Nice. All right. Once you're up, I'm going to get you to sit up and you're going to bring your feet together and turn your knees out like this. And then I just want you to gently rock your knees from side to side. You can apply a little bit of pressure by digging your elbows into your knees. That's it. Perfect. All right, then from here, we're going to move into a pancake stretch. So you're going to extend both of your legs out, nice and wide. That's it. And then you're going to place your hands out in front of you. Now, if you find that you feel like you're falling backwards, okay, you've got a few options. You can prop yourself up on something, preferably like a block or something that can just lift you up a little bit, or you can press yourself up against a wall. Okay, and try and get your tailbone right up against that wall and get your back nice and straight against it. That's it. Or if it's not too bad, if you find you're not rocking back too much but you want a little bit of support, you can just place your hands behind your back, pull your shoulders back and down. That's it. Or if you've got a little bit more flexibility, that's it, just tilt your pelvis forward and I'll get you to walk your hands out in front. Okay, you might already have your nose on the ground. Okay, that's the goal, getting our nose down to the ground. It. So for most of us, myself included, this is not really a pancake stretch, it's more like a C stretch. Best we just lower expectations and just call it a C stretch to begin with. So we're going to take a deep breath in, breathing out. As you breathe out, I want you to try and walk your hands forward a little bit more. Just try and move a little bit further into the stretch. We don't want to round our back too much, okay? So I'd rather you stay out of the stretch a little bit more and just keeping your back straight rather than walking your hands too far forward and having to round. We're going to take a deep breath in and out. That's it. Breathe in and out. One more. Perfect. All right, slowly bringing our legs back in. I'm now going to get you to lie onto your back. That's it. And I'm going to get you to have your knees bent, feet flat. They should be about hip width apart. That's it. I want you to spread out your hands so they're about at a 45-degree angle. You're pressing your palms into the ground, fingers spread out. And I want you to imprint your spine. So what I mean by that is just tuck your tailbone under, gently press your lower back down into the ground. And I want you to roll your spine all the way up. That's it. At the very top, tuck your tailbone right under, bring your pubic bone forward. And then I'll get you to reach your arms all the way back. That's it. Hold there. We're now going to roll our spine down. We're articulating one vertebrae at a time. Your upper back hits the mat. Then your mid back. Then your lower back. And then you return back to what we call neutral. So you've got a small little curve through your back. That's it. We're going to do a few more here. So you're going to imprint your spine. Keep your tailbone tucked, rolling all the way back up. Coming to the top, pubic bone is forward. And then we articulate our spine all the way back down, upper, mid, lower, returning to neutral. Two more like this. Imprint, rolling up, coming all the way to the top, articulating on the way down. That's it. Last one, rolling up. That's it. Perfect. And roll back down. Nice. Bringing your arms back, your feet together, turn your knees out and just gently rock from side to side. That's it. Just opening up our hips a little bit more. That's it. And we've got one more hip stretch. So we're going to come into what we call a happy baby stretch. So you're going to wrap or loop your hands around the inside of your legs, round to the front, and you're grabbing hold of your shins. You're going to separate your legs and then gently rock from side to side. That's it. Or you can just hold still. You should feel that stretch straight away through your groin and your hips. Maybe even your inner thighs as well. That's it. All right, slowly bringing your legs back in. I'm now going to get you to extend your left leg out along the ground. That's it. Your right knee is bent, and I want you to bring it across your chest. That's it. Grab hold of your knee with your left hand. And then I just want you to gently bend your right arm back. So you're keeping your shoulder and your elbow on the ground. See? As long as that shoulder and elbow is on the ground, you can start to bring your knee further across. So you're going to get a true idea of your range as long as your elbow and that shoulder are on the ground. Okay? If you lift them up off the ground, you'll be able to come all the way over. All right? But you're not going to get a true stretch. Take a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, you can apply a little bit of pressure to your knee as long as it feels okay, and bring it further across your chest. You're just rotating through your spine. You might feel this stretch through your hamstrings, glute, lower back, chest. It'll usually catch in the spot that's the tightest for you. And then slowly come back. And now you're going to extend your right leg out. You're going to bend your left knee. You're going to bring it across your chest, bending your left arm back. That's it. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, bring your knee further across your chest. That's it. Take a deep breath in. Breathing out. Keeping that shoulder and elbow on the ground, just with every out breath applying a little bit more pressure, pulling that knee further across your chest, gently rotating, twisting your spine. You might find one side's tighter than the other. Breathe in and out. And then slowly come back to the center. That's it. Coming up nice and slow. And that concludes our hip and back stretch class. Thank you guys. See you next week.